There is a voice inside your head that lies to you. It whispers in moments of doubt. It shouts in moments of failure. It narrates your life with a tone of contempt, a script of shame, a story of not being enough. You know this voice. It is your inner critic, and it is the single greatest obstacle between you and the life you are meant to live. This is not about positive thinking. This is not about empty affirmations you don't believe. This is about going to war for your own peace of mind. This is about learning, once and for all, how to take the microphone from that critical, fearful voice and hand it to the part of you that knows your true strength. This is about learning how to silence your inner critic. That critic has been with you for a long time. It might sound like a parent, a teacher, a bully from your past. It might sound like society or culture or some perfect ideal you absorbed from a screen. It has been weaving its narrative into your thoughts for years, telling you you're not smart enough to speak up, not talented enough to try, not disciplined enough to finish, not likable enough to connect, not worthy enough to succeed. You have carried this weight, this constant background noise of self-judgment for so long you might mistake it for your own voice. It is not. It is a parasite on your potential, and today we begin the process of removing it. Listen to its favorite phrases. Who do you think you are? You'll never be able to do that. You always mess things up. See, I told you you'd fail. They probably don't even like you. It speaks in absolutes. Always. Never. Everyone. No one. It catastrophizes. It takes a small mistake and turns it into a prophecy of doom. It is a master of the past, dredging up every old failure to prove its point about today. It is a tyrant of the future, paralyzing you with visions of embarrassment and ruin. But it has one fatal weakness. It cannot survive the light of your conscious awareness. The moment you stop blindly believing its stories and start to see it for what it is, a programmed response, a fear mechanism, not truth, its power begins to crack. The first step is simple but profound. You must name it. You must separate it from you. That voice is not you. It is the critic, the gremlin, the saboteur. Give it a silly name if you have to. Call it the grumbler. Call it the doomsayer. By naming it, you create distance. You are the one hearing the voice. You are the awareness, the observer, the conscious self. The critic is just a noisy passenger in your mind. When the thought comes you're going to embarrass yourself, you don't just accept it. You notice it. You say, there's the grumbler again, telling its old stories. This simple act of recognition is a revolution. It is you taking back the helm. Now, you must understand its origin. This critic was not born with you. It was built. It is a collection of every critical comment, every rejection, every time you felt unsafe or not good enough. Its original purpose might even have been protection. Don't try, so you won't fail. Don't stand out, so you won't be rejected. It's a faulty alarm system, screaming danger when you're simply facing a challenge, a risk, an opportunity for growth. It mistakes growth for threat. It confuses expansion for peril. Your job is not to hate this critic. That would just be the critic criticizing the critic. Your job is to thank it for its misguided concern and firmly tell it, I've got this now. This leads us to the most powerful tool you possess, curiosity. When the critic speaks, don't argue with it immediately. Don't just try to shout it down with forced positivity. Get curious. Interrogate the thought. Ask it questions. Is that actually true? Where's the real evidence for that? Is this thought helping me or harming me? What is the worst that could really happen, and could I handle it? You will find that the critic's statements crumble under scrutiny. You always fail. Really? Always? Not a single success? They think you're an idiot. Do you have telepathy? Can you know their thoughts? This process is called cognitive reframing. You are not accepting the first automatic negative thought. You are examining it. You are choosing the second, more conscious, more truthful thought. Let's talk about self-compassion. This is the antidote to the critic's poison. The critic thrives on harshness, on a brutal, perfectionist standard. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness, concern, and support you'd show a good friend. When your friend fails, do you say, "You're a total loser? I knew you couldn't do it"? Of course not. You say, "I'm sorry that happened. It's okay. What did you learn? How can I help?" You must learn to speak to yourself like that. When the critic attacks you for a mistake, pause. Place a hand on your heart, feel your own humanity, and say, "This is a moment of struggle. It's okay to struggle. I am learning. I am growing. I am allowed to be imperfect." This feels awkward at first. It feels weak. I assure you, it is the strongest stance you will ever take. It disarms the critic completely, because the critic feeds on self-loathing. When you offer yourself kindness, the critic has nothing to eat. Now, we must build new pathways in your mind. The critic's voice is a well-worn neural highway. Every time you listen to it, believe it, you pave that road again. We need to start paving a new road. This is where affirmations can work, but not the hollow kind. An effective affirmation is not a lie you tell yourself. It is a truth you are choosing to emphasize, a future state you are pulling into the present through repetition. It must be believable and stated in the present tense. Not, "I will be confident," but "I am building my confidence every day." Not, "I am perfect," but "I am worthy of respect and love as I am." Find a few that resonate. Say them in the morning. Say them when the critic gets loud. Write them down. You are not just saying words. You are laying down new tracks for your thoughts to travel. You are building the voice of your inner ally. Your environment is a microphone. What you consume amplifies a voice. If you consume negativity, gossip, fear-based news, content that makes you feel inadequate, you are handing the microphone directly to your inner critic. You are feeding it. Be ruthless about your inputs. Curate your social media. Choose books and podcasts that empower. Surround yourself with voices, real or recorded, that speak of possibility, resilience, and growth. Fill your mind with the language of your future self, not the echoes of your past doubts. This is not about avoiding reality. This is about consciously choosing which version of reality you will empower. Action is the critic's kryptonite. The critic lives in the realm of thought, of speculation, of worry about what might happen. Action pulls you into the realm of reality, of experience, of evidence. The critic says, "You can't start that project." Action says, "I will work on it for 10 minutes." The critic says, "You'll look foolish at the gym." Action says, "I will walk through the door and do one set." Action, no matter how small, generates proof. Proof that you can try. Proof that you can survive discomfort. Proof that the critic's catastrophic predictions are often wrong. Small, consistent actions build a mountain of evidence against the critic's lies. They build self-trust. And self-trust is the quiet, unshakable voice that eventually drowns out the critic completely. You must also redefine failure. The critic uses failure as a weapon. It says failure is an identity. You failed, therefore you are a failure. This is a trap. You must see failure as data, not destiny. It is feedback. It is a lesson, often the most important lesson you will get. Every person who has ever achieved anything meaningful has a graveyard of failures behind them. They simply did not let failure define them. They listened to it, learned from it, and adjusted. When you fail, ask the critic to step aside. Then ask yourself the constructive questions. What worked? What didn't? What will I do differently next time? This turns a moment of defeat into a stepping stone. It robs the critic of its most powerful ammunition. There will be days when the critic is loud, days when it feels overwhelming. On those days, your strategy shifts. You don't fight the storm. You become the eye of the hurricane. You practice grounding. Feel your feet on the floor. Breathe deeply into your belly. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear. This brings you out of the chaotic narrative in your head and into the solid reality of the present moment. The critic cannot thrive in the present. It needs the past to shame you and the future to scare you. The present moment, felt fully in your body, is a sanctuary of silence. Remember, this is not about achieving perfect, permanent silence. That is the critic's own perfectionist standard creeping back in. This is about management, about changing the relationship. Some days the critic will be a whisper. Some days it will be a shout. Your power lies not in making it disappear forever, but in knowing with absolute certainty that you do not have to obey it. You can hear it, acknowledge its fear, and choose a different path anyway. That choice, that space between the critic's rant and your action, is where your freedom lives. That is where your true self resides. Now let's talk about comparison. The critic loves comparison. It is its favorite fuel. Scrolling, looking, measuring your behind the scenes against everyone else's highlight reel. This is a guaranteed way to turn the critic's volume to maximum. You must understand, comparison is not a measurement, it is a theft. It steals your joy, your unique pace, your individual journey. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you showing up more authentically? That is the only metric that matters. When you catch yourself comparing, say this: I am on my own path. My journey is unique. My progress is my own. Redirect your gaze inward. Focus on your lane. Finally, you must embody the person who has already silenced the critic. This is a subtle but profound mental shift. Don't just try to be confident. Ask yourself, how would a confident version of me stand? How would they breathe? How would they speak? What would they focus on? Then, act as if. Stand taller. Speak slower. Focus on contribution, not approval. This is not faking it. This is practicing it. You are rehearsing the version of you that is no longer ruled by fear. With every embodied action, you send a signal to your nervous system and to your mind. This is who we are now. The critic loses its role. It has no part to play in this new identity. This journey is the most important work you will ever do, because every other dream, every goal, every connection, every ounce of joy you experience will be filtered through the relationship you have with yourself. If that relationship is one of criticism and fear, everything will be dimmed. If that relationship becomes one of compassion and trust, everything will be brighter. You will take bigger risks. You will recover from setbacks faster. You will enjoy your successes more fully. You will connect with others more deeply because you are not constantly seeking from them the validation you refuse to give yourself. So start now, this very moment. Listen, what is the critic saying right now? Maybe it's doubting this process. Maybe it's calling this foolish. Notice it. Name it. Ah, there you are. Thank it for its opinion. Then, gently, firmly, turn your attention away. Turn it toward your breath, toward a single small action you can take, toward a kind word you can offer yourself. You are not fighting a war. You are tending a garden. The critic is a weed. You don't spend all day screaming at the weed. You simply, consistently, plant better seeds. Seeds of compassion. Seeds of courageous action. Seeds of truthful, empowering thought. You water them with your attention. You protect them from the pests of comparison and negativity. Day by day, the garden of your mind will change. The weeds will still appear, but they will be surrounded by strong, beautiful, resilient growth. They will look out of place. They will be easier to pluck, and one day you will realize the background noise has changed. The constant commentary of not enoughness has been replaced by a quieter, steadier, more powerful sound. The sound of your own trust. The sound of your own acceptance. The sound of your own voice, clear and true, saying, I am here, I am capable, I am learning, I am enough. That is the sound of silence, the profound, powerful silence of an inner critic that has been heard, understood, and finally, peacefully overruled. That silence is not empty. It is full of your own potential. It is the space where your future is waiting to be born. Go and claim it.